Buongiorno. Mark my words, Mel. Early by Christmas.
Even now, less than a score of years after the World War,
hostilities exist. There is no blinking at the fact.
we shall never surrender!
This is the Militaria Podcast, brought to you by your friends at Queen City Militaria, Wehrmacht Militaria, and SMG War Relics.
Let me explain you a couple 2-3 things real quick. 1, I'm wearing a beanie. 2, I'm wearing a sweater. So you could probably assume just from that information that there's a nip in the air. It's fall. And what else happens in the fall? By the way, it's the Militaria Podcast. My name is Joshua Doda. I run Queen City Militaria. And I'm here with my friend Dante Gambino.
Hello, everybody.
Of SMG War Relics. And my other friend, Billy Kramer of WehrmachtMilitaria.com.
Good evening. Listen, we had a special guest lined up. I had asked Michael Jordan if he wanted to do it. He declined respectfully. LeBron said he would, and I was just like, we'll pass.
Really, so close.
Yeah, we just are going to do us 3 tonight, so I apologize. But how are we doing? Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Bill, always happy to have you on the show. You are one of the hosts, so it's kind of expected, but always happy that you're here. So again, I'm explaining, hey, look, I'm dressed for the season. It's fall. What else happens in the fall? The Max Show. So today's episode is going to be, let's talk about the Max Show, how'd it go, complaints, things that went well. Before we get into that, how's everybody doing? Dante, why don't you give me a little sit rep? What's an update in Dante world over there?
I'm having a rough day today, gentlemen.
Oh,
I spent probably a good 4 hours trying to get my Dymo label printer to work after a Windows 11 update, and then I come to find out that the printer's really just too old, and Dymo doesn't make supporting software for my computer, and I need to just buy a whole new one after 4 hours of wanting to throw everything in the garbage.
So I'm just a label printer.
Yeah. It's how I keep my inventory under wraps. Give everything a name and a
you
number.
do have a tag. Yeah. I won't go to Windows 11. You're a brave man.
So I'm kind of crippled without that. I tried handwriting a couple tags, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I can't do this. Take fucking forever. So I'm kind of waiting on a new printer to come in, and but the kids saved the day because they wanted to go to Home Depot and check out the Halloween decorations, and always pick up a little something extra every year, to add to the theme, to the display.
Did you get a 12-foot skeleton?
No, but it is there, and there's a 12-foot like scarecrow dude. I don't know how you would have room to put that anywhere. It's massive. And it's cheap as hell. It was very inexpensive. But we wound up getting a raven. Is like an animatronic raven guy. He's pretty creepy. He's holding up
bird.
He's holding up a light. He's got like a hood. He looks like a grim raper. Grim raper.
Grim raper. Wow.
Watch out for that.
Does the bird have hands? It's holding a lantern?
Yeah,
it's
just
it's
a bird
face.
face.
It's like, here, drink this.
It's a bird face, a raven face with a hood, and he's holding a lantern and a staff with a skull on it. And he
like one of those furries I've been hearing so much about.
No, definitely.
I wonder if you could have like a little clip and just show it like right here of what the raven looked like.
Bloop. I'm sure we can add that in there if we haven't already.
We could definitely do that.
And the little one was a little scared. She's like, I don't want to get that one, Dad. It's too scary. And then the 12-year-old was like, kept pressing the fucking button to freak out the 6-year-old, the display one. And yeah, it was a thing. But yeah, I really love Halloween, so I'm excited about that. Get back from the Max, unpack, and we get to work on Halloween, man. That's my focus now.
Halloween is pretty exciting. Before we get talking about Halloween for a second, I got to ask, Bill, do you have a favorite label maker?
I think mine's a Seco, and I've been using it for years. I do it very old fashioned. I don't do the barcodes or anything like that. I also, my inventory system is rudimentary compared to Dante's. He actually has an inventory and codes and things like that. I don't. I just kind of do it by memory and, kind of just
Bill's like, yeah, this is the drawer where all of these medals are.
Yeah.
He's just like,
very true.
It works.
Like, wait a minute. I have 30 KVK2s for sale. It's one of these. And I got to look at each one.
Well, no, when I get an order,
I would blow my head straight off of my neck If I had
No,
to
you
do
just
this.
find an identifiable
Smooth
feature
off.
on every one. No, yeah, if it's got like a certain ribbon feature, you just kind of
I
remember.
know,
That's the
but
one you
it's
get.
a
And
pain
then
in the
I don't,
fucking
I don't have to
balls.
look at a number. I just go and yeah.
Hey, kudos to you for doing it,
Yeah.
but I would
Different strokes for different folks, you know.
I used to do it that way too, but there were too many times where somebody would email me and be like, "Hey, can I get this thing?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, I lost it."
Yeah.
Like I literally don't know where it is. Dude, I don't know. Nobody's mentioned it. The absolute OG, the Brother P Touch.
The Brother P Touch, man. Here's the thing. I think the labels are stupid expensive. You could go that route, but you're going to spend a fortune on labels. They're very pricey.
Yeah, but don't you get some joy from being able to be like, "Oh man, I got to get Brother P Touch out and label some stuff."
No,
Is
no
that
joy
what
at
you
all.
use?
No, do you know how long it takes you to type in each one of those things instead of using
The
a keyboard?
brand is Brother, like what you would call like a fellow monk.
Like
And the
or
model
a fellow
is
black
P
person. Like I
Touch.
don't even know what that even means.
No, like dude, like you're in a temple and you're like, "This is Brother Johnson," and then you're over here like, "This is Brother P Touch." Hilarious.
What
Like
does
I
P
can't.
Touch even mean? Does that mean
I don't
touch my
know.
wiener?
Aside from the yeah, that's the implication.
No, they don't want to touch their wieners.
Oh my god.
I was at a Michael's somewhat recently and I saw they had a Brother P Touch behind the counter when I was paying for something. And I was like, "Oh, you guys fuck with the Brother P Touch over here?" And he had no idea what I was talking about. Bill, how have you been, buddy? What's up with you?
Good. I've been good. Trying to, like we've talked about this before. It takes you like a week to get back in the swing of things. But so I had to go to one of the other houses and do some lawn care. So I'm playing catch up. I still need about 2 more days, and I'm good again. I took 1,107 photos last night, so I have updates planned for
Wow.
the next 3 weeks. Got all my Max Show finds photographed, and had some stuff come in from the EU, and I have more over there now. And it's now because of the tariffs. It's like, do I get a favor from this guy? Be like, hey, remember that one time I hooked you up? Will you send me things and not write the true value on the customs form, because I don't want to pay a ridiculous amount to get my stuff out of the EU. So interesting time, but yeah, like I said, I've got updates planned for the next 3 weeks, so that's kind of cool, and just get back in the swing of things, and enjoying a nice Hofbrauhaus Oktoberfest, because it's October today. Well, this month is October, so it's only natural. I actually like Schlenkerla Helleslager is my favorite, and you might put it right there, but they don't have that locally. So I'm just trying to make more work for you to go find things to put in the podcast.
No, yeah, no, I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things.
Also, real quick, Hofbrauhaus shout out. Now that we have almost 400 followers, if you just want to give me a lifetime supply of beer, because I mentioned you on the show, feel free, hook a brother up. Speaking of brother,
Bill's not above a nice little sponsorship deal.
yeah. So that's what's up with me, man. It's just getting back in the swing of things. But how are you, Josh? I worry about you sometimes. You dress like an Eskimo.
Man, I'm doing okay. It's getting kind of chilly here, so it's not like a costume. Like it is like, 40 degrees as the low. So I'm kind of enjoying the switch over into fall, but I've been working a lot, and then working nights sucks. Like I feel like I haven't been able to enjoy the season very much. This upcoming weekend, we're going to go to the Topsfield Fair down in Massachusetts. So pretty excited for that. And then we're going to go up to Loon Mountain, and they're having an Oktoberfest up there. So I'm going to get myself a nice big decorative stein, and we're going to have a nice time. We're going to do some fall stuff. Pretty excited about that.
If you go to the fair, just don't wear a hat with the Gallipoli star, because if you lose that hat on a ride, you're out like $300. That's a beautiful award. Where'd you get it, Josh? Just out of curiosity.
I got this one from Wehrmachtmilitaria.com. It was actually if you become friends with Billy and you maintain a friendship, or at least like he doesn't dislike you for a number of years, sometimes he'll cut you a little break. So for my birthday, back in like 2018, I was like, I really want a Gallipoli star. And Billy was like, hey, come over here. Hey, let me do you a favor now. You do me a favor later. And so I got this Gallipoli star. And I was starting out, I had this little Soviet Union tourist pin on my hat, and Bill, he didn't like it. So I was like, all right, well, the next closest badge is the Gallipoli star.
So let's talk about the Max. What went down at the Max Show this year? I don't know. I think it was a lot of the same, but a lot of different stuff too, as well. We didn't have Josh there, so there was a noticeable missing link in our crew, But this is the second year, Josh, that we haven't had you there.
I know. Well, last year I was moving across country and that took up a lot of my PTO. And this year, I had some family stuff to deal with and that took up a lot of my PTO. This upcoming year, though, I'm coming back. I can't miss another one. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about, and I want to get both of you guys to weigh in on this, is I was looking at the footage, and by the time this episode comes out, if you're a subscriber on YouTube, then you've probably already seen the Max Show vlog that I cut together from everybody's video that they sent me. It looked like less foot traffic than what I'm used to seeing for the show. Is that true?
Yeah, I think that was something that everybody was talking about, and after the fact, we all talked about it as well. And it was just it was disappointing in terms of the foot traffic. And I think people that came last year, made the trip out there, were like, well, this is kind of a hike and there isn't really anything insane here, or they didn't like the prices or whatever. And they didn't make the trip back to York, PA. And I think the big problem is that it's York, PA. And where the fuck is York, PA? Nobody knows. To this day, I don't think I really know where it is. We're just type it in the GPS and go. It's not near anything. There isn't an airport within an hour. It's like what, 2 hours from Philly airport? Or you go south to Baltimore. Like there's no airport that's close by, and you got to take a lot of Amish back roads to get there. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. And the local population is just like, I don't know. I think we squeezed them dry already. It's like how many people from York are collecting Third Reich Militaria or military in general, whatever. You need other metropolitan areas closer to draw from, or at least one.
That's
like
a really
New York
good point.
City or Baltimore or Philly. They're too far away.
What's interesting, Kyle had said when you go to York is very diverse in the fact that like there's very nice areas of York and then there's like kind of hood rat shit. And he's, well, no, it's true though.
I know. You're right.
It's
It's part of the charm of it. It's like when you drive through, you find some city where jobs don't exist anymore, and you're like, it's like frozen in time. Kind of the same in York.
Yeah, in a way it is. And he was like, dude, can you imagine being a European and coming here and like, this is your view of America? Like,
yeah, right.
York, PA is like, oh, this is what America's like. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of a good point, man, because it's a very interesting little town. It's not
interestingly enough, like a lot of the Europeans that come and visit, they don't go to York downtown where it's kind of like happening and kind of nice culturally.
Yeah.
They're off to like weird random spots, and you're just like, what are you guys doing? Like, so I do think it's a bad representation of America in general, and we could do a lot better. And they made not here. Okay, here. Oh,
York's the type of place. Let me interject. York's the type of place that I think Vice would make a short video on YouTube about. Like if you've ever seen any of those Vice docs where they're like, half of this city is abandoned. And I'm not saying half of York is abandoned, but they drive through it and you're like, oh, it's like kind of cool. It's cool in some spots. It's unique. Yeah. I think the road trip to get down to York is part of the best part. If you have the luxury of being within driving distance, it's a nice drive. But, it was interesting when I was looking up some information about the Expo Center for the vlog. I found the original reasoning for why they moved to York, and it's because they were like, we're going to be centrally located to better serve our East Coast members.
Horrible decision, because in Monroeville, one, they had Pittsburgh, which is way bigger of an area for the general population. So that's going to drive better, just average Joe foot traffic, right? Oh, cool. There's a military thing going on. Let's go see what it's all about. So you got more of those people because there's just a larger population. Then Pittsburgh International Airport was right there. It wasn't a huge drive to go to York. So you had a larger international draw and a larger domestic draw from across the country.
Monroeville. Yeah. And not to mention the Pirates, we were there, and the Hofbrau House, like there was cool shit to do in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It was better. It was better all around.
There was an adult store right across the street from one of the Italian places we like to go to.
Right.
So we could kill two birds with one stone.
Right. I know. I bought thigh-high stockings for somebody in that store. That's all I know. I went home.
If the night starts at the Italian place, it usually progresses to the adult store.
That's
But
just
you
how
know
it
what
went.
Monroeville doesn't have is York peppermint patties, and if you're not familiar with that, that's why it's. I think that's why they went to York because they wanted to be closer to the peppermint patty factory.
I think that they literally thought we found an expo center that's not going to raise an eyebrow about a military show coming in, and we're going to make this place like a Militaria hotspot. Like we're going to make it a Militaria tourist destination because there's no other way that you can justify it. You need everyone to come in from out of town just for this.
Yeah, but you know what? If the OVMS did a better job at marketing and advertising, that might be a thing, but it's not because the OVMS does a horrible job at marketing and advertising. So no one even knows what's going on unless they're within the military circle. So I just don't think they do a good enough job. And it's actually such a concern about the location and the venue that they made an announcement on what, Friday, Billy? They made an announcement.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Excuse me, we just would like to say there's been a lot of talk and people coming up to us saying that, where's the show going to be next year? We hear it's moving, and they wanted to set the record straight and say that the show is not moving, is absolutely staying in the same location, no matter what anybody says. So, I mean, I think that in and of itself is a problem. Like, if you have to explain to people that no, we're not moving, and everyone's saying that you're moving, I think everyone wants you to move, right? Doesn't that?
Oh, it's definitely I think ever since they moved to York, it's been something people have talked about. There are a lot of people that hope the first year in New York was the last year.
But we don't know what they're paying for the venue. I would imagine the venue is significantly less expensive than it was in Monroeville. Plus, there was all kinds of politics with Monroeville. I think the venue was closing or downsizing or some nonsense. So it was a problem there. They couldn't stay there, or they had to find another venue in the Pittsburgh area, and they couldn't do it. So we're stuck with York for now.
Dante, you had a great show. You have no reason to be a negative Nancy. So let's talk about all the great things about the Max. The hobby's well and thriving, right?
Yes.
It's not going anywhere. People were spending money. Yes, foot traffic was down a little bit, but I sold a shit ton. I bought a shit ton. So, I mean, it wasn't all bad. I mean, do you want to...
No, it's not all bad. Listen, if you do your job, meaning if I do my job beforehand and Billy does his job before the show, and you have great stuff, there's people with money that are going to buy the great stuff if your price is right. And, there's an opportunity for someone to flip it or collect it or whatever, but you got to have the good stuff. If you're bringing just run of the mill stuff, you're just you're rolling the dice a little bit, and you're probably not going to have a good show if you're just bringing blah, blah, regular stuff. So, and when I say regular stuff, I mean like stuff you can get anywhere, right? Like just regular, army daggers and regular SA daggers and like regular medals and stuff. Like, do you know how many OS medals you would have to have a good show? I mean, you would have to sell hundreds of them to have a decent show. And I know some people go there with just the intentions of just making their table. They paid for their table and they're good to go. But Billy and I and a lot of other dealers, it's our profession, so we've got to make a sizable dent in our sales to be able to.
What are you asking for an Eastern Front medal these days? Just a real quick thing, because you said you need to sell hundreds of them.
$60 for an average one, a nice one, 100 plus, depending on the frosting on the edges. If it's got
so, if you sold 100 OST medals, sold 100 of them, you got $6,000 just from Eastern Front medal sales. You think you got to push it harder than that?
It's a rare customer to find that needs 100.
Well, let's just say
you should jump on that, buddy.
You sold that many things worth that price, right? How much did you pay for it? Okay. Subtract your expenses. So let's say your expenses are, for an average person, hotel, travel, maybe airfare, whatever, meals out. You've got several $1,000s in expenses, tables. Okay. Several $1,000s in expenses for your average.
Okay.
Dealer. Take that out of your margin. So you sold $6,000 worth of medals. You just took $2,000 or $3,000 out in expenses. You're left with $2,000-$3,000.
That's amazing. A guy just bought 100 medals.
Yeah, but you paid $2,000 or $3,000 for those $6,000 worth of medals.
Just imagine how stressed out you were.
So you didn't do shit.
100 Eastern Front medals at once, and you said, "I'm never going to find somebody to buy all of these." And then that guy walks up to the table and he's like, "I gave you $6,000." You're not excited about that?
My point is, unless you're just going to turn money into cash flow and you actually want to make and be profitable, you need to do a good chunk of change. That's my point. And Billy and I are able to do that. And so it is a good show for us. But I can see that some people that just go with 1 or 2 tables and they're just selling some real basic commodity stuff could be struggling and upset about the quality of the show. I get it.
I don't know how many times I've gone to a table and seen like a WKC Army dagger, but like, oh yeah, you're gonna really move that here at the show when it's got like a $600 price tag, and it's like, why do you even bring that? In my opinion.
Yeah, why do you bring it? And nobody's even looking at those because everyone has them, and everyone's prices, for the most part, are higher than they should be at a show when there's a sea of them. So like I do bring those because every once in a while I do well with them, so it is worth bringing them. But I did notice a lot of people weren't looking at the common stuff because it's just everywhere. So why am I going to bother asking Dante what the prices of his army daggers are? Because it seems like everyone's trying to get $800 for a decent one, which is too much money in this market, personally. So,
Well, that highlights the same thing you were just talking about. If people aren't interested in the common stuff, quote unquote common stuff, and again, it's all relative because none of this stuff's common if you're just a guy on the street who's never been into this before.
sure.
But you got to get that guy into the show, right? If like you said, the entire local community's been there 1 year, they're not going to come back every other year. They got their fill. They're like, yeah, whatever, I did it once.
Right. It makes total sense. I mean, I sold one $4,000 helmet to a collector on Friday. And then everything else was over $1,000 was to another dealer. So there wasn't a lot of people come with a budget, right? So you come and you say, hey, I'm going to go to the show and I got $500 to work with. All right. They go and they burn their $500 and then what? You know, it doesn't matter really what they collect. You need a
get some
steady
chicken fingers at that point.
You need a stream of those guys. You need a kind of a long line of those guys. They're looking to spend money, and you know, it is what it is. I think we're always going to complain about it in that location, and then if it goes to a better location, we're going to complain about something else. It's just the nature of the beast.
Bill, you seem to have had a stream of guys at the show. Your table was people were coming by, they were shopping.
You know, if there was one thing I didn't want people to know, it'd be like Bill's associated with a stream of dudes. But
You
thanks,
need a
Josh.
stream of guys. Dante was just preaching the
I mean,
good word.
I mean, I guess in that room, there's not a stream of ladies to be had.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I had constant. Well, I'm right. See, I will say this: when foot traffic goes in the door, they tend to go to the right. I'm to the left of the main door, but they always make that perimeter. So I mean, I get them on the way out. So with that being said, I had great foot traffic. Jeremy loves that location. I had a great show. I don't know what else you want me to say about it, but and you know, as we were talking about, there are pros of York. I mean, the food downtown, the atmosphere. Not seeing you 2 years in a row, that was nice for me. You know what I mean?
Oh, hurts
Man.
my heart.
Hey,
Bill.
can we jumping onto people that we don't see often? Josh, did we tell you that Mario Formosa made an appearance?
Mario. Yep, Mario made an
Mario.
appearance.
Oh, I did not know.
Oh yeah. So for those that don't know, Mario Formosa is one of the OGs in terms of the kind of the clicky group that we've had since the beginning, which is 10 years doing these shows. I was talking to Jen Brady about 10 years. It's our 10th Max show, if you can believe that. And Mario has been absent for the past like 4 years or something. He's been having a lot of stuff going on, personal stuff going on. He just hasn't been able to make it. And I don't know if he was, I don't know if he's just been into it as much. And he's like a personality of the show though, and of the collector community. So people are always asking where he is. And he did decide to take the drive out, but he drove out on Thursday, Billy? Thursday night? He shows up Thursday night after the show is done. And then the next morning he comes, he's there at the show for like 4 hours, 5 hours. And he's like, oh, it was great to be here. I'll see you later. So he drove all that way from Queens or wherever he lives to York for 4 hours worth of the show and then just left. It was a little weird.
Listen, it was good to see him though. I haven't seen Mario in so long, man. And like you said, we've known him for a long time. It was great to see him in the room. Funny story about Mario. One time in Queens, he found a brick of cocaine in a package.
No, don't tell this story.
Brick. No, I'm allowed to tell it because he turned it over to the police. He's
okay. He did give it.
He
up
did the
to
right thing.
police.
But
I don't know where this is going.
That's just a real like, you turned it over to the police, huh? A brick of cocaine. You basically
Where did he
found
find
him.
it?
It was in the building. It was an abandoned package in his building. And I mean, I don't know what that would be worth, but like, bro, if you would have just found the right guy, they're probably a $250,000 cash.
I wouldn't be finding any guy. I'd be like, I don't know what this is.
I
would
certainly
just
wouldn't
leave it there.
condone that. I'm just saying Mario turned it over to the police. Rant over.
Holy shit.
There used to be this abandoned house kind of close to where I lived when I was growing up, and a hoarder had lived there, right? And so I was in there exploring one day, and there was like a bunch of feral cats and stuff. And then there were these objects that looked like bricks of cocaine. Like it was like the bundle, and it was all taped up and shit. And I was like, no way, right? And then we cut it open. You know what was inside? Adult diapers.
No.
So close.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So close. Yet so
Yeah, had a
far.
totally different career path. So just I got a picture here. Dante sent me this picture. It's a little bit of an example of what we're talking about. The bit of a skeleton crew vibe going on in here. Which day was this? Do you remember?
This is probably Saturday. Yeah, it looks thin, right? Saturday was just No, okay. I'll preface this by saying Saturdays are always slow, and it's because the show is over at 4:00. Dealers want to get out of there, so they're kind of thinning. They're thinning their inventory. They want to go home. People are just not showing up. And the traffic's just light. So, which is a shame because Saturday, from any other retail perspective and any other business, is a booming day. But not for the Max. And I think that's where it throws a lot of collectors off, because if I was just flipping through the newspaper and I see an advertisement for a show, I'm thinking Saturday is going to be hopping. I see that it's open Thursday and Friday, but I'm not thinking those are the days to go. I'm thinking Saturday is the day to go. You go Saturday.
Right, because then everyone that has a job can still make it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to the door and it's like, oh, it's 12:00. I'm ready to go to the show. And they say, well, it's closing at 4:00. Do you still want tickets? Like, do you still want to go in? That's kind of the vibe. So it's Saturdays are tough, man. I told people on my YouTube, if you want to go and you want to not complain about other dealers getting all the good stuff, make the investment, take off Thursday to get there and be a OVMS member, spend the annual membership, be an OVS member, get there Thursday. If not, the general public can get on Friday too, but you got to get there at least on Friday.
I would like to tell a funny story about this photo. Are you done making your point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this,
Bill,
okay,
come on, give us some levity.
What?
He doesn't know. That's too big of a word for Billy. Come on, let's move along.
Levity, yeah. Jeff
Lighten
Nichols
up the
forehead
mood,
right
Bill.
here on the bottom right. Great forehead, Jeff Nichols. This guy in the blue here, in the blue polo, he's like, I buy from him. And so this is the guy last year. Do you see A on the top right there? That's where that General Lieutenant uniform, that general's jacket that I got eventually for my personal collection, that's where it was.
Yes.
And everyone in the room thought he was the guy who bought it in the light blue. And people were like, I was like frantic. I'm like, who bought that fucking thing? It's mine. I'm getting it. And people were like, hey, who are you? Are you the one who bought it? And so I went up to him and he's like, I don't know why everyone's fucking so mad at me for buying something I didn't buy. He's like, I have no clue what jacket these people are talking about. He's like, I've been asked by 10 different people if I bought a jacket. He's like, I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, fast forward to this year, guy in the blue polo there, he's like, hey, let me get your phone number. I got some Railway Eagles. I'll text you. I'm going to keep them under the table, but I'll text you when I bring them out. So he texts me and I go, thank you. He's got a nice forehead too. Him and Jeff Nichols, they got great foreheads. Anyway, he texts me and I go over and I look at these Railway Eagles and they were, I would have priced them the same. I'm just saying, at least he didn't underprice them. I kind of looked at him and was like, well, at least you didn't underprice them. I don't know whose forehead that is, dude. I don't even like that guy's forehead.
That's Matt Janowski.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I'm glad you can recognize a forehead when you see it.
Well, because he clipped this photo. The photo is actually of Matt Janowski and Jeff.
Oh,
Nichols.
okay. Long story short, I don't think the
foreheads at the Max.
What is the levity of that reference to Matt Janowski, please? Anyway, where I'm going with this is I don't think any of those Railway Eagles sold. I think he brought them all home. I'm sad.
That's crazy.
I sold all of my Railway Eagles because
you sold yours cheap, though. I wouldn't have sold those that cheap.
I did, but you know what? I brought dude, I've been trying to sell good Railway Eagles for $4,000 for years. They don't move. So you know what? It's time to break the $4,000 barrier. That's it.
See, in my opinion, listen, I I'm in this to make money. I don't need to have a fancy inventory, but there's nothing wrong with having nice stuff in your inventory. Like,
No,
so
there's not. But at the same time, I don't want the market to drop even further, and then I start to lose margin
not gonna
significantly.
do Railway Eagle beyond anti-partisan badges. A Railway Eagle is the most requested thing I get. There's Jeff Nichols and Matt Janowski. There you go. But a Railway Eagle is a very hot, desirable item. I personally wouldn't have sold them that cheap. I don't know if you probably didn't need the money. I don't know why you sold them that cheap, but that's just me. Another dealer bought them, and he's going to charge what I charge for them, and he's going to get it.
He's going to throw 6,000 on him, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. To me, it's all about, listen, you have to turn inventory. And I know that's a great lead on your website, but at the same time, what do I need? If I got one $4,000 Eagle on there that doesn't sell at okay, let's call it a $5,000 Eagle. It doesn't sell at 5, and then I got it at 4. It doesn't sell at 4. Do I need 2 that don't sell at 4? No, I'm going to sell them to another dealer that comes by and offers me a price where I'm making money, and I'm out of there. Boom.
Did you have one of these delicious Everclear?
Well, I'm gonna Matt Janowski and fucking Jeff Nichols. I have to blame for making me try these fucking nuclear waste green balls.
Is it just a grape?
They're cherries. I don't know why they're green. I couldn't get a straight answer out of either one of these clowns about why they were green. They were green because I think they've had them previously. They were red. They're maraschino cherries, but they're green and they're soaked in Everclear, motherfucking nuclear waste that will burn. If you put them on the floor, it would eat into the cement. That's how strong this freaking liquor is that's in there. So you have one, you're like, oh, God damn, it tastes like shit. And you have another one, you're like, well, it wasn't as bad as the first one. And then you have a third one, and you're just like, kill me, because I'm just going to kill myself. It's just,
It's funny. I didn't know that was what we were doing here. I just, like, you guys were talking about something else, and I was just like, is this just a bunch of grapes they were snacking on? I had no idea.
Yeah,
they were hacking the system like that.
And Matt and Jeff invited me over to have some, I felt privileged and I had to try them. And I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's fun trying disgusting stuff that's full of alcohol, I guess. So if you see them, try them again. Oh yeah, look at these guys. So these guys came by our table. Well, I saw them kind of walking around, and I stopped them. I said, guys, stop. We're gonna put you on our podcast. Let me take a picture of you guys. So
man, that guy in the middle has a great, like, if you're not watching the video right now, if you're just listening, it's guys in full kit, right? They're out here, they're LARPing, they're reenacting at the show. It's not a reenactment. Is it a reenactment? I don't, that's their impression, right? Their impressions. Guy in the middle, perfect dead-eyed Russian stare.
He does have that dead-eyed Russian stare. He's got that round Russian face too.
He's like, I have seen some awful shit.
He's like, I'm actually from North Kazakhstan.
My grandfather helped build a railroad in Kazakhstan.
Did he? Did he look like that? No, because
he kind of does look like that. I take, you know what? Hey, he kind of does look like that. I'll put a picture of him right here. Bloop. But yeah, no, he was like, it was great. I love working in Kazakhstan. He was like, hey, we would get drunk at night, and like the people from the village would play music. In the morning, we'd scrape all the sand out of our eyes and we'd go back to work. That was their whole routine.
So let's talk about a timeline of these gents. This guy on the left, he's World War II and earlier with the little hat. What's that kind of hat called?
The Budanovka?
Budanovka.
Ushanset or something? Never mind. I'll just say.
And then what's the next one? Also World War II era?
I think that like the two guys left and center look like they're both trying to do the World War II thing. But you know what? There's some guy online who's going to be like, actually, that gymnasterka was only used in 1953. Yeah, right. Like, I don't know.
And the guy on the right, like guy, 80s Special Forces. Is that what he is? 80s?
I have no idea. I don't know the camo patterns. That's not my. I don't do field gear, and I barely do uniform stuff. But like, he definitely looks a lot more modern.
Soviet Special Forces is what I'm going with.
Dude, I heard there not only were there the standard, like, guys that show up in their reenactment impressions, but I heard that there were some, like, I heard a lot of rumblings online about furries and like anime nerds. Was there any truth to this? Did you guys see any, like, what are you doing here with that tail sticking out of your friggin' jeans? Did you see any of that?
No, and show? It probably wouldn't have gone over well because it's not the crowd to bring furry stuff to, because people are going to be like, you're fucking stupid, and then they would get booed out of there.
I think that you're right, but I also think that I saw enough people talking about it that it was definitely a thing at the show. It must have
Who
just been
knows?
kind of
Maybe
low key.
some girl came in with a fucking tail sticking out of her ass, and
If anyone can supply the Militaria Podcast with a picture of a furry at that show, I would love. I didn't see anything like that. I don't know.
no, I didn't see anything either. But
Did you go to the Max show? Did you see furries and anime nerds? Leave a comment. Anyway,
next picture,
back to the
please.
pictures. We got another picture of the room just to show, a little bit of the size of it. Looking at it online, by the way, we can say that it's like just a little bit less than half the size of the show of shows. Would you agree?
Yeah, I always told people it was about a third. I don't know what the table.
I thought it was
size
half.
is.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Oh, at least half is the size, but I always said it was about a third of the size. And it took a significant dip as well when they moved it from Monroeville, because Monroeville had more tables. And that was a big concern because people are like, oh, we're not going to get tables now and blah, blah, blah. And
It's not 1,000 tables anymore.
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
900 tables
Yeah.
over here in York.
I don't
The
know.
one thing that I think that I actually kind of miss about Monroeville, especially when I see this picture, is I like that there were 3 rooms.
Yeah, dude. I liked, and we were in the back quiet room with the carpeting, which was so nice.
Yeah. It's like you're standing in here and you're thinking to yourself, I can picture a dog show happening in here. I can picture a gymnastics competition happening in here. It just doesn't have that same like I'm in an antiques show type vibe.
Hey,
Wow,
there's
look at you guys.
And let me tell you something. We did not coordinate to wear these shirts at the same day, because I give all my table helpers a bunch of different shirts, and this particular Stahlhelm shirt we all just chose to wear that day. So thanks for the close up of my fucking double chin. You're the best, buddy.
Dude, I'm just trying to help out. You got a hotel party up in here?
No, Janowski sent me this picture of this is a great picture of the old school, hey, everyone want to come to my room and look at the daggers I bought kind of thing. And that's they used to do that all the time back in the day. I think it's super gay, personally. I don't really give a fuck about the daggers you bought. Unless you bought something fancy, I don't really care. But
There's an allure to it. When you used to hear about it from like the old guys in Monroeville who were old when I first started hearing these stories, and like again, you said it's been a decade since we all started going to shows and knowing each other in real life and not just on the internet. These guys were talking about it back then. I was like, I would love to get invited to somebody's hotel room to look at a sword, which in the wrong context, you could be like, what are we even talking about here? But in terms of the Militaria show, like it just seemed so cool to be like, yeah, let's have a cigar. Let's fucking go look at a really expensive dagger. And now I don't feel like I could be bothered.
I've been to a couple of these. The Hogels used to have them. I appreciate the nostalgia of it. They're still keeping the tradition alive. I always thought it was cool because you go see some very high-end daggers, for instance, Army daggers picked out of the room. There's a few good ones in there. There's 400, but maybe 5 of them are actually impressive, at least in my opinion. But I like seeing them on a bedspread where you can kind of like look at the cross guard on one eagle and really compare the variations of the makers. Like I do think it's cool. And I mean, it's in its own right. It is very cool. So like I said, at least they're still doing it and keeping that part of it alive.
I remember one time Billy was like, hey man, you want to come to my hotel room and see a crazy fucking thing? And I was like, yep. And then sure enough, oh no, hold on. I walked in there and if it's not okay to talk about it so openly, then I'll bleep it out. But he had like a $200,000 fucking tapestry draped across 2 beds. And he was like, look at this fucking thing.
Oh,
and
we
I'm
have
like,
pictures of that. We have
dude,
pictures of that.
Technically, it wasn't that bad. I sold it for 50,000, and I had the vet provenance on it of when it came out of the room in Berchtesgaden. There was 4 of them. There was 2 reds, a white, and a green. Supposedly, they were saved from the Reichstag fire, and I don't know if it was Hall or what Goering retreat had. The hunting lodge had the green one, and the white one was draped on either side with the 2 reds. I had one of the reds. And I sold that shit straight cash, and I paid off my Shelby with that.
Well, that was definitely my coolest. Like, I'm gonna go look at something in a hotel room, and I'm not gonna get molested in the process experience.
Yeah, I mean, don't take it the wrong way. Like, if you got something super cool and you want to invite me to a hotel room to show it to me, and it's not like your dick, like I would like to go see it.
Or a black dildo, which also is known to be floating around hotel rooms at the Max Show.
And a purple one, but the purple one's not ours. So
if I called you up right now and I was like, "Hey Dante, I just learned how to do a kickflip. I need you to come down to the hotel right now so I can show you."
I'm
Would you do
fucking
it?
there. I'm there in a heartbeat, dude. Are you kidding me?
For a kickflip? I mean, it's not a heel
I
flip
would
or
rather
180.
see you try to do a kickflip than a fucking SS dagger all day long, any day.
Damn. All right. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Green skateboard.
Oh, the whole crew out to dinner here.
The whole crew. Yep. So yeah, this is the usual crew plus my family on the right hand side. So halfway down, the beautiful brunette is my wife Tina, and then Gigi, who looks like she's stoned. That's my oldest daughter with braces. She definitely
It's a phase.
she's it's a phase. Looking retarded is a phase. No, she's squinting in the photo by accident, probably halfway through a blink. And then the little cute one on the end is my daughter Valentina.
She is adorable. A blast to talk. I was glad I sat next or across from her. She was adorable.
Oh, well, yeah, they had a great time, and they really loved the crew. They made it a point to say how much they liked everybody. Valentina loved Billy, and even my wife Tina acknowledged. She's like, Billy is really good with the kids, and I'm like, yeah, Billy is good with kids. He loves kids.
People don't expect it because he's a fucking cutthroat.
Exactly, but he's great with the little ones. And then Gigi, my oldest one, she was like, I want to sell. I want to stay behind the tables and I want to sell. So like she was like telling my other table helpers, no, I got this. I'm going to show this dagger. I'm going to write down the sale. I'm going to take the money. She was all about it. She loved it. So she had a blast. So thank you for everyone who introduced themselves to my kids and had a little story. A lot of them had stories about my dad that they shared with my daughters. So that was fantastic because that really connects the dots for them. And they don't, hearing their dad just talk about how cool their grandfather was is good, but they don't really connect it. It's like, oh, dad's just saying some nonsense again. But when you get a bunch of strangers coming up to you and be like, oh, I knew your granddad, he was a great guy, and blah, 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 blah. That's really special. It's special stuff. So, But this is Billy's favorite restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Billy?
Well, I was going to say, enough of this family bullshit. I got to ask a question to Bill. Bill, how are the oysters?
So the Blue Point was the smallest one, and that was the one I had a few years ago that is just to die for. It's fantastic. It's a really, really, really good oyster. Love this restaurant. The lobster stuffed. Yeah, it's a tail stuffed with crab meat. It is just to die for. Dante picked up this tab. I got Hamir's the next night after. Great photo, Uncle Germany. We got our people back there, and yeah, it was just a great time, man.
Good stuff.
Man, imagine stuffing crab meat into a lobster's tail. That was a real creative thing. First guy who ever thought to do that. Kind of like the turducken. Wow, look at this. A classic sight.
Again, this is thanks to Matt Janowski for sending me some photos to use. This is your traditional pregame at SOS or a Max. You may not have a cooler. The fridge, maybe you got one, maybe you didn't. Maybe it's full. You don't have time to get stuff cold quickly. You gotta fill up the sink with ice and throw your beers in there. So this is a tradition. If you don't know about this trick and you're a youngster looking to get beer cold fast, this is what you do. And you can even, if you got a little salt, maybe a little couple salt packets around, throw them in there. Wow. That'll help cool it even faster. So it's good.
I'm going to share with you guys, if you're a youngster, I'm going to share what me and Bill do, what our system was for the SOS, which is you buy it at the store.
Cold.
And it's already coming out of the fridge, so it's cold. And then you bring it back to the hotel and start drinking it before it gets warm. You don't even have this problem.
Well, maybe you were like, oh, shit, I want to bring Warsteiner to the show because it's German and I want to have German beer and it's not cold by the time you get there. So
look, if we're trying to tell teenagers how to be hoodlums, okay, if you have an apple and a pen and some marijuana, you could just... Maybe you could even show an apple and how to do it. I mean, just, tinfoil. I mean, we could do this.
Smoking banana peels.
Yeah, right.
All right. What's next?
I got this picture where you look like you might be in a Fred Durst cover band.
I was in bed by this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one. Dude, where is? Hold on. I got to get. There it is. That's the stance right there.
Yeah. And believe it or not, I was not drinking there. I think I had what are they? Smart waters or whatever fucking flavored waters. And yeah, I'm just talking to JR Meta about life, really. He's a good dude, man. Like, you know, a lot of times he's very quiet, and you may not think that he's got a lot to say, but if you can pick his brain, man, he's full of knowledge. He's like the man when it comes to SS daggers and a lot of daggers in general. So he's a go-to guy for me. Very knowledgeable, very helpful, very friendly. And we were having a good conversation just about, you know, random shit. So
JR's in my cell phone. Anytime I have a question, he always answers my question. I do go to him because he is extremely knowledgeable. I like Chris is a great guy too, his son. And, you know, I hope he, you know, JR is kind of getting out of the business, he said, and he sold some of his collection. You know, Chris, his son, still has some really nice daggers set to the side. I hope they're still involved in the hobby for years to come. You know, besides being dirtbag Packer fans and worshiping Satan, I think they're really good people.
Oh, are they Packers fans?
Yes, they are. Both
man,
of
now I
them
know
are Packer fans. Yep.
Now I know I got to bust their
Say
balls.
what you want about Packers fans. There's nothing wrong with Satan.
Wait,
Was
don't
this
they live in
Hamir's?
Colorado? Shouldn't they be Denver fans?
Yeah, they should.
Oh God,
Was this
is
Hamir's?
Hamir. Yeah, this is Hamir's.
This is Hamir's, yeah.
Yep, this is Hamir's, and you can tell all that like looks like diarrhea. That's our food.
Nice. I
and we
like
made the
seeing
mis-
Kyle just showing up in a picture, by the way. It brings me back to when we first started going to shows, like you said, 10 years ago. Kyle didn't have a picture of himself on the internet. So the first time I met him, I had no idea that he was a child.
He still is a child, even though he's like 30 now.
He's still, yeah, he's he's always going to be the youngest guy in the group. But like, it was so wild to meet him in person, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I don't want any pictures of myself online." It took years, so now it's like, man, we're really cheating the system. Everybody that's watching the podcast, that's Kyle over there in the hat, and you just know.
I have a picture of Kyle that we took on your Polaroid camera from 2 years ago. You can show it here, and he looks like, I mean, he's an adult in the photo, but dude, he looks like he's 12 years old. It's a hilarious photo, and I got to show it to you. It's very funny. But yeah, he's a very young looking cat.
All right, so we have to tell the viewers, if you go to Hamir's, they have a number system, a scale for how hot you want your food to be. And we can never remember what to order, right? As far as what's spicy and what's not spicy. Billy likes it as hot as you can make it.
Lava. I'll
Yeah.
eat lava. Yeah.
And I'm like on the other end of the scale where it's like, I'll take a little heat, but put it this way, I ordered a number 2, and a couple of guys ordered number 2s, and we were sweating. We were like at a scale of 5, I think was the scale, 1 to 5, and 2 was like we were sweating, and I was like, oh shit, you got to remember order number 1 next time, because you can order no spice 1, 2 through 5, and well, actually yours wasn't even on the menu. Yours was like Indian
Correct.
hot,
It's
right?
Indian heat, and I remember John Corbin's like, "Oh, I could try that." And he tried it. He's like, "I think it kind of ruined his meal because he ate that before he ate his." And he's like, "That's ridiculous." And I was like, "I love it like this." And I got the lamb. I love it like that, dude.
God damn, but the food there is phenomenal. The service, well, we kind of had a little server that had a little tood.
She had a real
But,
dude problem, in my opinion.
She
And
had
I
a
was
little-
the one
Hey,
picking her.
Bill, I've been out to dinner with you several times. You have a dude yourself, my friend.
No, so Billy is very much like, oh, and can I get this? And excuse me,
Dude, Billy's
can I
a
get this?
snapper. Billy
So he
hits him
is
with
like,
the, "Hey,
he
oh,
is that
Toots,
guy
hey,
who's
come
like,
here."
oh, but he's still very polite. But he does ask for things, and he wants the service to keep coming. Like, so if you're not bringing the beers fast enough, Billy's gonna be all over it.
And it's not like I don't take care of her. I mean, well,
Yeah,
No,
no,
he takes
not-
care of the servers, but
No,
he'll
he's
call
like,
him
listen,
honey
man,
too.
I got a
sometimes.
crisp $5 bill waiting for you after this. So.
I think maybe on like closing out images with your dinner at Hamir's is a good opportunity to say like there's really good food. Surprisingly, for the size of York and the location of York, there's good food in the area. It is actually like, as much as we can complain about the drive and it not being close to an airport, it's a pretty solid little destination for the weekend, especially if you just want to like hang out with the people in the hobby and do a little shopping, maybe do a little selling. So, and also you get to meet us in person if I get to go. If I can go, you get to meet me. And otherwise, you're going to get to meet these two guys. So if we're making you doubt the experience at all, you know, as a listener, as a viewer of the podcast, because we complain about foot traffic, don't let it dissuade you. It's totally worth going to. And it's probably the second largest show that OVMS puts on. So if you can't make it to the SOS, I think it's probably like your next chance at a big show. And that's it, right? They kind of bookend the year. They have Wilmington, but that's like less than 900 tables, right?
Yeah, they call that the cornfield show. That's also kind of in the middle of nowhere. But I mean, the thing about it is like, okay, New York City is 3 hours away from York. I mean, you've got Pittsburgh. I mean, if you take a 4 or 5 day vacation and throw the Max Show into it for a day just to do it, I mean, it's an awesome area. You just would have to travel a little bit. You either got to get a car rental or drive yourself, But again, great food, great seeing people in person and meeting everyone. And I'm not going to not do the show,
Right.
No, we're going to be there every year. That's the bottom line. And we do see now, don't get us wrong. We do see a lot of the same people that do put in the effort to come every show. And we love that they come. And every year we meet new people. We're still meeting new people every time. And we encourage you guys to come out and to, spend the weekend with us, take off a couple of days of work. And like Josh says, it's not that far from New York City, but the idea is that it's close enough for a drive for Baltimore, Washington, Philly, New York, and potentially even Massachusetts, Pittsburgh. There's a lot of cities that can drive to the show. So if you don't have a lot of family obligations for whatever reason, you got no excuse to get your ass out there and have a good time. And you know what? Be prepared to go out at night, because the show is only part of it, right? The nightlife and what happens after. And you drag a friend. I can't tell you how many times, especially starting out, I've had to beg, borrow, steal, pull people to get them to the show. And it made all the difference in the world, because we actually would have a nice little crew to do stuff with. And that's where you're really making memories and having stories that you're going to tell for years down the road.
Very sentimental, but very true. Some of my favorite Max shows, I have pictures. I have the album of Polaroids and stuff that Billy was kind of talking about earlier, because I made more than one print of a couple of those. It is probably my favorite show. I like it more than the SOS as far as the vibe goes. It's a lot more I don't want to say intimate, because I think we all keep our clothes on, but it is the group is tighter at the Max Show, because
the levity of that comment is just too much for me to even process right now.
It is a great show, though.
Touché.
You guys should go to it. I got to ask, though, we haven't talked about this yet. How smelly was it?
Ooh, so I didn't pick up a lot of BO smells this show. So maybe what we've been harping on has been people are taking it seriously. They're wearing deodorant. They're not shitting their pants before they get through the door, into the show. Or
you got to wait till at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, maybe they're shitting their pants when they leave. And then, but hey, the BO thing. Now, the stuff itself smells, the antique stuff. As soon as you walk in, you're hit with those mothball smells. You're like, bam, right in your face. And you're just like, oh, God damn. This is what I do for a living. And then you plow into it, right? But, it is what it is.
I was shopping, so I'm zigzagging, and I got rudely interrupted by Walter Kanzler on a fucking scooter behind me. And he's like, "You need to move." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Did he actually say that to you?
Yes, dude. Yes. And he's like, "Well, you're going all over." And it's like, "Well, you're on a scooter going twice as fucking fast as I am." And it's like, you know what, Walter? If I had a fucking razor blade, I'd cut your stupid fucking rat tail off right off your fucking. I didn't say any of that.
Man,
I was very polite, but also,
I can't believe he actually said that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And he was extremely rude about it. And she's like, "Dude, what the get away on drive your little scooter away from me."
And I don't even think he really has a disability, does he? Because I see him walking around.
Oh, he's just an asshole on a fucking scooter.
What a dickhead, man.
I get so mad sometimes.
Fuck. Dude, that's fucking disappointing.
You want me to censor names, or are we just going to leave it all?
No, fuck
him.
He could eat a dick, that guy. He's such a... You know what? His name's been dragged through the mud enough. Everybody knows who he is. Whatever.
He still sells the toilet paper.
Who gives a fuck? Fuck him. Anyway.
So it wasn't smelly. It didn't have that SOS funk. That's good to hear. We put it out to the universe. It manifests people to not smell quite as bad.
Yeah, man.
Josh, I don't want you to jinx yourself, because you're promising us you're going to come next year, and you've missed 2 years in a row now. So I don't want anything bad to happen where you can't come. So we're just hoping on you actually making an appearance, bud.
The only thing that I'm going to have to schedule around, and don't tell Carmen, but the only thing I'm going to have to schedule around is when the wedding is, right? Because the wedding is supposed to happen in the fall. So I just have to make sure it's not right as the Max Show happens. And I also then have to be like, "Hey babe, sorry, I know we get to get married in 2 weeks. I got to go to a Militaria show this weekend."
Oh, just have it after. This way have it like in November.
Could be a little bit cold in
Oh,
November. though.
November Rain. Great song for your wedding. And yeah, just be like September 19th for the Max shows off the table. We got to get
I think
married.
that it would have been too early anyway. September 19th. We want to do more of an October thing.
Do September 2nd or 3rd. That's when mine was. It's still a little hot. You got great weather.
I just, you don't even have to try to sell me on it too hard. I really do regret that I wasn't able to go. I love hanging out in the hotel parking lot. I like having a drunk cigarette. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that you do at a show. I'm pretty sure that also, and I'll beep his name out in a second here, but I'm pretty sure that also, wasn't it the Max show where shit his fucking pants outside when we were all hanging
Yes,
out?
he did. Yes, he did. I was in bed already when that happened, but I was outside before it happened with that
Yeah.
individual who will remain nameless, but we all know it's
It was a legendary party show. That's like I feel like there's more partying in Pennsylvania because you have to be more creative with how you spend your time than when we're in Louisville and it's basically like, let's go to a nice bar. You know what I mean?
I will say this. I had a good cigar at the Max show, but I didn't even play Frisbee this year, and that was a huge disappointment.
Yeah, no parking lot Frisbee this year. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Fucking world's gone to shit.
No, son of a bitch.
Well, guys, on that note, thank you for listening to our post-game wrap-up of the Max Show 2025. I think I'm basically hearing from you guys that it was okay. It was fine.
It was good. No, it was really good. However, there's things that could improve.
You think there's trouble on the horizon, possibly?
You know what? I think the dealer perspective is different from the average collector perspective. I'll leave it at that.
You think a global crime network / elite cabal of sex offenders is co-opting the Max and running it into the ground?
Wow, that's a lot to digest there. And my answer would be no. I do not think that's happening.
I didn't
Dante's
know
a
there was a
paid
conspiracy
show.
theory that I needed to get into, but obviously I need to research this before I answer
Holy
on that.
crap.
They already got to Dante, Bill. He's already paid, and he's in the pocket of the machine.
Listen, I'll get into
he's part of the
YouTube real
problem
quick
now.
and go down there. I can't sleep tonight. Now I know what rabbit hole I'm going down.
Yeah,
Holy
the
shit.
Militaria cabal. We all know it's there. Those items are going somewhere when they leave the show.
God damn it.
And if you guys have enjoyed this video of our discussion on the 2025 Max Show, you can obviously check out the vlog. The link will be in the description. It's going to be on the channel tonight after we finish recording this, which means in a couple days when this comes out, you probably already saw it. Go watch it again. You don't have anything better to do.
Sure.
My name is Joshua Doda. I run Queen City Militaria, and I'm lucky to be joined by my friend Dante Gambino of SMG War Relics.
Thank you very much for tuning into us blabbering buttholes. I appreciate you guys.
And my best pal, Billy the Bill William Kramer of WehrmachtMilitaria.com.
Thank you, boys. As always, it's been fun. I'm going to go walk the dog and hit the hay. So thank you guys and just have a good night, okay?
You know what? For you, I will. And you guys have a good night at home. We'll see you later.
Ciao.